What is up, tubers? Teal here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to continue our lake breakdown series. This time we're on Lake Pickwick or Pickwick Lake, whatever you want to call it. We're staying in that Tennessee region, trying to finish us up. This will be our last Google Earth video for the Tennessee portion of Pickwick. Then we're going to jump over to Navionics mobile app and look at the contours and talk about some offshore stuff. But tonight, let's go ahead and finish out this Google Earth side. Let's go. Here we are back on Pickwick Lake. We're actually looking at the Tennessee portion of Pickwick Lake. This thing actually covers Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. And so we'll do our breakdowns kind of in that area. That'll kind of give us a good set to go by. So tonight we're actually finishing up the Tennessee side. Hopefully we're finishing up. We'll see how long it takes us. The Tennessee side of the Google Earth side, which is going to be up here. So if you missed the first video, we started at the dam and we worked our way down pretty much down to the state line, and then we hopped over. We talked about this a little bit, and then we moved our way back up as well. So that's what we're going to basically do tonight. We're going to start over here where you see this little anchor that's right here, and that is where we're going to start our breakdown out tonight. But before we do that, let's go ahead and pull this over, and let's talk about what we have out here and how we have this thing broken down so you can see it, and also so that you know when you go out to the website, simplisticfishing.com, to buy your card, your SD card for your graph, you'll know exactly how we have kind of set up things and why we named waypoints the way we did, all that good stuff. So as far as the categories, when you pull this up in Google Earth, you're going to see channels and ditches. That's going to be the creek channels that are right here. So you're really going to be able to position your boat correctly on these creek channels. They'll come up as tracks on your graphs. It's huge. It's really important that you position yourself in the right areas when you're fishing these. And this is a great, easy way for us to do it. Basically what we do is we come in here and we pull the water down. And if we have the water down low enough, we can see the creek channel. Like in this case, 2023, the water's pretty low right now in this image. And we can actually just use the current image to see exactly where that creek channel is. So really cool stuff. You'll have that on your graph. We've also got cover that's out here. That's going to be bluff walls, laydowns, brush piles, rocks, or not rocks. We'll do rocks in a different one. Sorry, laydowns, hard spots, pretty much anything you can think of as far as cover goes. We also have offshore hotspots, which we won't talk about the offshore hotspots in this video. We're actually going to come back and talk about the offshore hotspots in a separate video, which we'll use web app or Navionics mobile app. Having a hard time speaking today. Navionics mobile app. And we'll use that to show the contours on this lake and really show you why we selected these spots that you see out here as offshore hotspots. Next up, we've got ramps. We've got a few ramps in this area, not too many in the Tennessee range, got a few there, here and there. But if you've watched any of my lake breakdown videos before, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of fishing boat ramps. Not busy boat ramps, but just slabs and boat ramps in general. I just really think it's a good pattern to run, not all times a year, but it can definitely be a good pattern to run, something that you can trust. We've also got rocks, so lots of rock on these lakes, obviously, but we're looking for rocks that stick out, bigger boulders, higher percentage areas where we believe that you're going to be able to hopefully locate some fish. We've got structures as well. These are man-made structures, tie-ups, stuff like that you can fish around as well, hopefully. And then last but not least, fish attractors. The Tennessee Authority has gone out there and put out fish attractors in these areas. And so we've used the waypoints that they provided and put those in to the waypoints too, so you can have everything in one complete bundle. So with all that, let's go ahead, select everything. I'm going to take the offshore off. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to take the sidebar off. And we're going to start right where we ended last time, right off the edge of this point. Now, right now, I have the date set to 2000 or February of 2023, and you can see the image is pretty good here. You can see it. It looks somewhat blurry though, so I think we may be able to get a better image. So let's just draw this back. And when I draw it back to 2020, that gives me a really good image. I don't know if we're going to get anything better than that. 2015, the water's a little higher. 2012, the water's too high. 2010, too high. 2008, 208. Yeah, so 2020, which is cool because I love it when it's a newer date, because then we can see everything that's there. And we also know that from laydowns and stuff shifting, this is going to give us a much better thing to look at. Sorry, we got a little alert, child abduction, which is always scary stuff. So here we are, hard spot right here off of the point. Always good stuff to look at. We talked about it last time. When we find these hard spots, those are great places to look. But let's swing back down, show you guys where I'm at again, since I jumped here pretty quick. Here's the dam. I'm right here off this point right here. When we come off the point, we come back in here. This looks like a pretty steep wall that's back in there, probably some type of a bluff wall or pretty close to being a bluff wall. It looks pretty steep. But when you swing around here, what you'll find back in here is what we were talking about earlier, and that's that creek channel. And so here's the creek coming through. Here's the channel. And the main thing that I would be looking at here would be these flats that are out close to these creek channels. Those could be good. The actual creek channel could be really good as well. And definitely this swing that's right here, where it's swinging up against the bank line right here, basically fishing from about this point to where it shows about where there's rock. And there's rock there because it's washing out. That creek channel's washing that out. I think this is going to be a really high percentage area for you to go and find something. Now, moving on up, we got some laydowns that are out here. You can see those. Here's one of those fish attractors. Moving off of this point, there's actually some pretty good looking rock off this point. Zoom in here and show you this. You got laydown here. I mean, that looks man-made, so I don't know how far out that goes, but that's going to be a pretty good little point to fish off. It's got some pretty good cover around it. As we move on up, you'll see here, if I zoom in, you got some rocks here, but these are like bigger piles. So go check out that and really just fish that whole bank line right there, right from where it turns kind of from the dirt to the rocky stuff, the harder stuff. Moving up here, bluff walls. Moving on up, you got some more laydowns. You've got a little bit of rock here, but it's probably like the pebble type stuff. So I don't see anything here that I can really mark for you. There's a couple things here, like a laydown I could have marked, but I don't know if that's still there. Some more laydowns in here. Just know that when you're up here on this bank line, show you guys where I'm at again. I'm coming up out of that dry creek area, but when you're on this bank line, you're first coming in, you've got some laydown opportunities, kind of starting from where that boat dock is. You've got rocks, got laydowns there and laydowns here. So if you're just pounding the bank, you've got a pretty good area there, and you got a little shallow point here too. So some opportunities there. Moving back in here, didn't see too much back in here. There is some rock though off the edge of this point. You can see it's more like a really good looking natural rock. It all looks good right in here. So that could be a good spot to look at. Those docks can be good too, especially when they're coming there and they're just kind of right off the main channel there. That can make them really good. Got some laydowns, more rock up in here as well. So if I come up here, that's that same pretty much rock that starts right in here, comes all the way up this bank line right here. But this, if you look here, it's got a little bit more shelves to it, almost like they step down. I like it when they do that. That seems to me to be just something that I really like. I like it, I think, because I can feel it. I can feel it going down from step to step to step. And I feel like, when it has that fall, that's when I'm usually going to get that bite. So this looks like a really good spot to take a look at. That rock continues up here behind these banks. And then over here, you've got a boat ramp. So you definitely want to look at that one. That one doesn't look like it gets used much. Those are always good ones to look at. A fish attractor that's back here. You got a big flat that's back here with a little creek coming in. This is a potential brush pile there, or it could just be the imaging messing with us and making it look like that tree's laying down, but maybe go look at that. Looks kind of gnarly back in there, but that's the kind of stuff you're looking for. Then moving up here, a pretty good bluff wall again, right off this point. This point looks interesting because you don't really see, I guess you can kind of see, I was going to say, you don't really see all this really good rock here, but you definitely see it right in here. So I thought maybe there could be a transition there, but I don't really see it. But I'd fish there. I'd also fish around this stuff. When you see these little ramps that take the boats up into their boat sheds, those things are magnets for fish. So fish around them as long as you're allowed in that state. Here you got another boat ramp, more rocks around that. Again, guys, here are those things I was telling you about, those ramps. Fish those things. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised at how much they like those stupid things. Right there, there's a little boat ramp that's hidden in there. Got some pretty good shallow rock up in here too. It's definitely going to be shallow in here. You can just tell by how long and how extended these walkways are. But this is not a very deep area. We've also got another boat ramp here. Look, this one, it's like somebody made it and then forgot that there wasn't anything to build around it, and now nobody ever uses it. So this is like money boat ramp right here. This one goes way out. It's not being used. It's probably got all kinds of nasty junk growing on it and stuff like that. It's attracting bait fish. It's attracting the bluegill, and the bluegill are attracting the bass. It's a juicy spot, so I'd go look at it for sure. Moving up, we got more rock over here right off this point, more ramps. Got a potential brush pile that's down in here. You can tell that's a brush pile at the top of the tree, but it looks like a brush pile. We've also got rock, shallow rock all in this area. Some more rock back in here behind this dock. If you zoom in real quick, you'll see it. So right along in here, there's some pretty good rock. There's actually some pretty decent little rock and crap right in here, but I'd say over here looks a lot better. And they also have like a little personal ramp in there. Lots of shade for them to hang out in. Looks like a pretty good little spot. Some ramps up in here, and then just some shallow rock around those docks. Move it up here, another big flat up here that really didn't see too much here to mark for you. You can see a creek channel, but it's really not that well defined. It's kind of all blowing out, so didn't mark anything there. But as you come up, you've got a big group of laydowns that are right here off the edge of this Bronze Cemetery Road. So I'll pull back, show you guys where I'm at. This looks like a ramp right here, Braun Branch Recreational Area. So if you come down to the south side of that, you're going to see it right here. And they look to be fairly large laydowns that are right here in this area. So definitely look at that. Moving down here, check out this riprap that's out here. That looks good, and it looks like it might like fall out over here or something. Something's going over here off the point. Plus you got a couple laydowns. That looks like a really good point to fish, guys. I'd take some time to spin there and take a look at that. You got the boat ramp with the rock around it. Moving on up from the Burton Branch area. As we get up in here, we're going to see more rock, more laydowns. There's another good laydown, more rock. Just really good riprap in certain areas around this Burton area. So you got a little good spot right there. And then as you come up here at this good spot right here off this point. So those two spots in there, you got a really deep cove going on back in here. Probably something we may talk about offshore. In that area, we'll see we've got some good rock around this point. And this one actually has the transition. So you can see there's some sort of transition going on right here and right here. So you'll want to see if you see anything out further away from the bank with that transition. They'll hang around those lines. We've also got some laydowns down there. As you move up, you're going to see some additional rock going on through here. You can see it through the trees. It's hard to see, but it looks like maybe this could be like a creek that's coming through, and the channel's rubbing up against this bank line, causing all of that rock right in that area. So I would look in here, do some scanning, see if anything's along that bank line. Coming back in there, there's the creek channel. You've got laydowns that are back here. Got awesome looking homes back here too, or whatever those are. Resort, I don't know what it is, but look at that brush pile. I put laydown. I should have just put brush pile. Actually, it is a laydown. It's a full tree. Hopefully it's still there because that's a magical spot to go fish. Got another one back in here, but I don't know how you could get to it. It'd be pretty tough to get back to that one. Moving up here, we've got some more rock. I have no idea what that place is, but looks like a pretty cool place. The Preserve, that's what it is, the Preserve. Moving down, we've got more rock around the edge of that dock right there. So you could definitely do that. You could get in here and fish around this point right in here. I'd also go back in here. This is nice and shady and good looking little pocket. We've got rock in here. Look at this rock right here though. I like this. A little bit of a transition going on or something, and a really solid rock, something they can hide around, ambush bait on, all that good stuff. That one looks good. Another good area here with the fish attractor in it. So you'd want to look at that. And then we're going to move down and just kind of see the same stuff, where the rocky bluffs and the bigger rocks that are right in here. As we get further down here, though, we're going to come out here. And we aren't really sure what this is. I don't know if it's some kind of a pole with a light on it or what it is. You can see the shadow from it. But check it out if you can fish around it. And if you can, just go fish around it and just see if anything's relating to it, because there's probably rock down there below it and stuff like that that the fish will be attracted to. We're going to keep moving up. We're just going to see basically some rock back here behind these docks, these super nice houses. You've also got some rock here off these walls. And then this just looks like they've pushed just a bunch of this rock down and it's tumbled down into the water. So this whole point right here looks really juicy, and the opposite point from it too, right here. This looks just as good. I mean, that looks really, really good. Lay down there as well. Both these points look very attractive. As we come up here, fish attractor, more of this rock. You can see where we're just pointing out where it kind of points out. These are the bigger areas that we can find. They may all be the same, and it might just be what the imaging is showing us, but definitely a rocky, bluffier wall right in there. Some rock back in here, some more in there. You got the docks over here, more rock. This is the Blowing Spring Hollow. More rock back there. As I come back through here, it's going to be the same type thing we are just showing, but just point them out to you. And there's some rock right in here. Get in here. This becomes like this chunkier rock, and kind of like that rock better than those bluff walls. But the bluff walls can pay off too. So it's like they're in pretty much all areas of the lake. It just depends on what time of the year that you're fishing for them. But moving down here, some better rock going in there too. We talked about that point. So let's back out because we've talked about a lot so far and show you where I'm at right here. There's the dam, and I'm right here. So we're going to try to finish this one out. Hopefully we can make it in time. Let's move on over. Let's look at this dock right here. Now you can tell you got some current going on here or something. You can see the bubbles from it. This dock probably gets some pretty good current around it. So if you can find anything where they can set up on and just let that current bring the food to them, those are going to be good areas like this area and here. You got some rock around this point too. That dock could be pretty good. If it's got any, I don't know if it has any post on it or anything like that, but if it does, you want to fish them. Some more rock back here, just shallow rock, but definitely some good square billing all in here. So many opportunities to catch fish in so many different ways here. Good bluff wall here. This break wall, fish around it, if that's what that is, which it looks like that's what it is. So definitely fish around that because they can use that as an ambush site as well. We've got some rocks, some bluffier type rock all in here and that side as well. Moving on up, again, we're just going to start seeing a lot of this rock, but it's all good stuff to fish around. This is all shallow rock here along the seawall. Move up here, we got more rock, more and more. So it's like hidden in just little spots, but we've marked them for you guys. Like out here, this is where the image gets a little bit tricky. You can see there's a little bit back here behind this dock, and then there's definitely some all around this point where it gets chunkier, it's bigger, it's more fun to fish around, I guess. Also in here, these points, all of them have this rock on them. There's some laydowns back in here. Let's see what creek this is that I'm in. Doesn't show. It shows there's a ramp back there. It doesn't really show the creek name. But here's Short Hollow, so we're going to go 2 up from there. I like this spot right here. I like this a lot better than some of the rock stuff we've been seeing. But right here, really big, juicy laydown. Potentially maybe an old ramp right here. It's hard to see, but it looks like something's going on right here. And then you've got this bigger rock and debris. That's probably a community hole, but I'd go look at that for sure. And then also fish this point too, because it's got some rock on it as well. And then back here, I don't know if they'll allow you to get back in here, but if they will, I would come back in here as long as there looks like there might be a walkway on that. Let's see if there is. There might not be. Maybe those cables are below it. If that walkway is flat and you can cast over into this area, I'd be working this pretty good. And I'd work this little rock in here too because it all looks good as well. But just some good spots, some good little areas way back in there. You got a boat ramp back in there that probably doesn't get used too much. So just some good stuff to take a look at. Let's pull back out, and we're going to get into pretty much little rock heaven. So just spots where we can locate the rock. We got some right there off of that point that looks good. Moving out here, this point looks really good. It's off a drain. So here's a drain that comes down from this neighborhood. So it's going to get fresh water and stuff like that, especially when it's raining. And it's kind of washed out like this little area right in here. So fishing right in here could be a really good spot. I'll pull back out and show you where I'm at. I came out of that pocket, and now I'm right out here. Pretty crazy. I've never had the opportunity to go out there and fish with the barge around me, so that would be an interesting one for me. Now we're going to move on down. We got some more rocks here, additional rocks here off of this point that look really good. This point looks pretty juicy. And again, if you can get back in behind these docks, I don't know if you can or not, but if you can, and you pull back in here, this all looks pretty healthy right back in here. So I would go back, sneak back in there, see what you can find. Rock here, rock off these points, rock off pretty much most of these points that you see in here. And then if you want to do some square billing, a lot of times the fish love to get up on that riprap. There's a whole bunch of it back here in the back by these apartments or condos or whatever they are. But a lot of good riprap back here that you could go back and do some do some square billing on. So let's move on out of there. That was Quarry Hollow. We're going to move out of Quarry Hollow and move down here to Pyburn Bluff. And when we get off of here, obviously we got some bluff walls going on if it says it's a bluff. But when we're looking here, if you look right here where it says rock, there's a pile that's out here that sticks out. It's different than everything else. So you definitely want to go look at there. Those are good ambush spots as well. Some more little rock in here and this little cutout that's here, this little pocket. You want to check that out. And then a lay down out here, another one out here. We got the bluff wall. We got an area that I'm not even sure if you're able to fish around, but if you are, you've got all this riprap that you could go fish on, and I'm sure that's a healthy area to catch some fish on. I just don't know how close you can get to your dam. I don't know what they allow and what they don't, but we'll come back over here, and we also got a little bit of rock that's right here as well. It's basically just the riprap that kind of ends right there, and it goes to right here. If you can fish there, I'd say that's probably a pretty good stretch to fish around. So that covers us for the Tennessee portion of Lake Pickwick. On our next video, what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to cover the offshore hotspots for Lake Pickwick. So let me show you what that's going to look like. I'm going to come over here and hit offshore. It's going to get mad at me because you have to be on the right year. So let's get it to come in here. Now we can see them all, and we'll pull them up. And what we're going to do is I'm going to use the Navionics mobile app to show you guys the contour lines in this lake and talk about why we think these spots are offshore hotspots. So anyways, sorry, I'm losing my voice. Until next time, make sure, please, go out, check out our site, simplisticfishing.com, but also please make sure to go out and catch your PB this weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Take it easy.